Hey guys, what's going on? Shyam Kumar here, the Minister of Everything. Today I want to talk to you about buying your first Leica camera, which I think should be a Leica M, and I'll tell you why I think that. First off, I want to discuss a little bit about price. Most people get turned off with the Leica M because of its pricing structure, especially for a brand new camera. You can start anywhere at 8,000 for a brand new inbox model from a retailer, all the way up to 15,000 and higher for special editions. Combine this with a 5-digit camera lens, and the next thing you know, you're spending over $13,000 for one body and one lens. Hardly accessible for the common person. So what I recommend people do when they buy Leica M's is hit up the used market, which has a plethora of cameras available and lenses available. And you can pick up a previous generation Leica M camera for around $3,000 and change. And I'm going to make this the subject of my next video to show you just how you could do that and still end up with a fantastic Leica M camera with a pristine lens. Which leads me to my second point of why I think you should buy a Leica M camera, and that is the number of lenses that are available for it. Since Leica came out with the Leica M3 film camera in the 50s, they've been producing Leica M lenses for that particular line. So there's hundreds of different lenses out there available for your purchase. You can buy a lens for any budget, budget that you would spend on a normal lens. And on top of that, any lens produced since the 50s will mount to your 21st century digital Leica M camera just fine. As long as it's an M mount, it'll mount. They haven't really changed it at all. Actually, they haven't changed it at all. And I doubt they'll change it anytime soon. The number of optics that are available for this camera is astounding. And like I said, you can pick one up for under $1,000. So camera and a lens together will cost you about $3,000 and change. So that's really not that bad. Considering you're getting a full frame camera and the ability to mount some of the world's best, sharpest lenses ever. And this is not a small thing. And that price becomes more not only affordable, but you're also getting a lot for that price. The other point I wish to make is that some of the finest optics available, you have that versatility of distances. You don't have a fixed lens. You could go ahead and buy lenses for wide angle, normal, range, extreme telezooms, and they're all available for you. The other thing about those lenses is that they're made really well. I own a Leica lens from the 70s, and I absolutely love it. I have zero issues with it. They're built within tight tolerances, which is why people, really go after the Leica M lenses. They're built like tanks. They're built to last. So, my lens is from the 1970s, but I bet you it will last into the 2070s. And the Leica M is also a flagship product, right? It's one of their best-selling lines. It's been around forever, and the testament to that is it's been around since the 1950s. Of course, now they make digital cameras. They used to make film. And it's one of those things that's not going to go away. Leica's come up with lines that they've discontinued, but they've never really discontinued the M line. It's very popular, which kind of future-proofs you. If you buy a used camera body and a lens today, your camera body will depreciate a little bit, but your lenses not so much. In fact, the lenses I've owned from Leica, the price has gone up, as witnessed by the resale market. So you're kind of future-proofing yourself, right? You don't have to worry about the mount changing. You buy a body today, you sell the body in a few years for a newer body, but the lenses don't change. The lenses are exactly the same, and you can hold on to them. And like I said, I doubt they're going to be changing the mount ever. It's a very unique feature of the Leica M series, and I doubt that they'll take that away. The other point I want to make is that people often make the mistake of jumping into Leica by buying more affordable camera systems like the CL or the TL, which are great cameras in their own right. But if you spend almost what you're spending on those systems brand new and buying the lenses for it, you're sort of approaching what you would spend on a Leica M system in the used market. So why not go for the camera that you really want in the first place, right? Using these other systems as a stepping stone does not make sense from a financial aspect. In fact, you're spending more money and time buying this and eventually selling it and then using that money to buy the Leica M. I recommend you go straight into it for several reasons. One, it's the camera you wanted. And two, it's the flagship M product, Leica product that's been around forever. So you should really try to get into those stellar optics and the superior bodies as soon as possible. Because if you use these sort of other Leica systems as a stepping stone, you're not giving yourself the time to get used to the M system. And the more time you spend with it, the more likely you use it and understand the rangefinder philosophy, the simplicity of the Leica M, the simplicity of the camera menu system, the simplicity and the manualness of it all. There's some automation. You could automatically choose the shutter and ISO, but focusing is manual, as is the aperture. And I actually recommend people to go all manual, so you actually learn the system. So the sooner you jump into the Leica M architecture, the sooner you'll appreciate its subtleties and really get yourself involved in it to really evaluate if it is the correct tool for you. And the last point kind of leads into that, is that, I bet you more than anything, you fell in love with Leica for one reason, the Leica M. You saw someone holding it somewhere, some documentary where they had it, where the photographer had it, or some sort of movie from the 60s where people were photographing with it. It's always sort of been there in the background in your subconscious, and that, I bet you, is what brought you to this video. You fell in love with Leica because of the M. That connection is often underestimated when you make that physical connection with something. You want to use it, you romanticize yourself with it, being a guy who uses a rangefinder, a person who wants to take pictures like Henri Cartier-Bresson, or Robert Frank, whatever, or who have you for that matter. And so it's really important to get into what you think the Leica M should be, and if it is the correct tool for you. You should not waste time getting there. You should find out sooner rather than later. And once you do that, if you don't like it, it's not for you. But at least now you have valuable camera body and lens that you can sell to go into one of the other Leica systems. In fact, that's the order of operations I always recommend to people getting into Leica. Start with the M and then go anywhere you want, because the M really captures that philosophy of what Leica is supposed to be, which is simplicity. Just letting you focus on what you need to focus on, which is taking a picture. And you need to practice with that to be able to be as good. If you look at the masters of photography who use Leica cameras, they spent years and years and years of photography before they became as good as they did. So the sooner you get into it, the better. Those are my reasons for you to buy a Leica M first. I bought a Leica M first, and I'm glad I did it. It's been about 7 years since I've owned Leica M cameras, and I have not regretted it. I wish you my kind of success. I'm going to do many Leica videos. This is my first one. Please like, subscribe. Go to my homepage, comment on my video. I don't allow comments on YouTube. I have my reasons for that. But head on over to my website and comment on the post about this video. I hope you guys subscribe and watch my future Leica videos and videos in general, because I'm the Minister of Everything and I cover a wide range of topics. I'll catch you all next time.